When we started this project, we had no idea if we could actually pull it off. Turning a decommissioned Navy barge into a floating home for our family felt like our most ambitious idea yet. 7 months later, we've built something we are incredibly proud of, and today we're finishing the final piece, the front deck. This is the moment we've been waiting for, when this dream finally becomes a place we can call a home.
All right, so before we can get started building the deck, it's time to address these holes in the barge cells. If you go way back to one of the first videos when Courtney and I pumped all the water out of these, well, now months later and we haven't had any more water come in. I'm pretty sure, and a lot of you guys said it in the comments, that water was intentionally put in these cells to level out the barge. So we're gonna put the water back to get the front end of the barge to come back down and get this thing level. And while we're at it, we're also gonna be welding new plugs into these holes. Deep breaths, and then hold. I think it's gonna work perfect. Well, so here's what I think happened. These are missing because they decided they needed to add water to the cells, and then in the process of trying to get the plugs out, they just broke the bungs off. They filled them with water and they were like, whatever, doesn't matter anymore. You have a big enough wrench. All right, this is thread sealant, which is gonna both seal the threads, and it should also make it so that someday in the future we can still unscrew this thing. This feels so wrong. We are pumping lake water back into the barge cell. You know what someone told me the other day? All boats are sinking. Some are just sinking faster than others. There it goes. I think it's gonna take a while. While we wait for that to do that, let's get started on the deck. So plan for this deck is gonna be building a floating deck over the top of this entire barge. That's gonna make sure that it's removable if we ever have to service it, and it's gonna get everything nice and flat and even. So the first step is gonna be to build a framework out of these 2x4s that sits on top of the barge that we can then attach our composite decking to. Starting with the perimeter. Here we go. First cut. First cut. That stuff is kind of gnarly. Is that like mineral based, the store? This is our rim board that's gonna finish off the edge nicely. Right, that's 4, that's 2, yeah, so that should sit right like that. I couldn't find a notepad, but I didn't want to lose my number because I'm gonna have to move the fence. 4 3/8. Right there on the saw. Well, the barge has lots of things welded on it, like right here. So we need to notch this rim board around this thing. It's weird, I've owned a jigsaw for years. It's actually my first power tool, gifted to me when I was 10 years old. And I didn't use it that much. And I think it's just because you had to stop and plug it in. I feel like I'm stuck in the fence.
Grass on the other side of the fence.
So this is like the perimeter deck board. It's a trim board. And then this is actually the support joist. So that's gonna go like that. And then the deck board sits on top of this. I feel like I need to put a camera on you to show them how you got that shot. I think the most tedious part of this project is going to be fitting around all these edges and then kind of like, and laying it all out. There we go.
Tools, another tool, some screws, some earmuffs, some garbage, framing square,
Making fun of me?
another box of screws.
These are the symptoms of progress.
Are you having fun?
I am having fun. And you know what else is really fun? That I just grilled dinner on the barbecue. Like
Dinner?
Lunch. I grilled lunch on the barbecue with stuff that came out of the fridge, and I sat in a chair and I ate it.
Those are Riley's lunch shoes. Those are his work shoes.
No. So with our rim in, it's time to put in the joists. So we're gonna have joists that are running this direction and sit on top of these beams. These are the main I-beams that hold the barge cells together. So I think as long as my planning works out, it's just a matter of laying them out and screwing them in. With any luck, the deck boards slide underneath it. I didn't know you were a tool belt man. Well, you can set my drill on fire and roll it down a hill. And I still don't like to wear a tool belt. Hey, there's that screwdriver that we found on the barge that I couldn't find the other day. Yeah, the splinters out of these suck. Do you remember that time I got one in my eye from pressure treated wood? Man, let's go like this. I just want to stand over here and look down it and make sure it looks straight. Like, now it looks straight. Okay, so now we're gonna run more joists out going this direction, but the dilemma is that we have a 7-foot span here. There's just a lot of deflection, there's gonna be a lot of bounce. But I have a plan, which is to... My plan is to take scraps like this and then just sister them onto our joist. So they sit right on top of the barge cell. Like that. Yeah, see, now, no bounce. Just gonna have to be strategic about where they go because we're trying to get around all this kind of stuff. It's like, if a blocking goes right there, right? That seems good. Wherever 16 is here, we need to notch because there's stuff in our way. I thought the same block that supports the midspan here can also be the splice between our wood. The new dilemma now is that we're trying to make sure, as we do all of this, that we can still get to the bungs that let us access the barge cells. If we put this joist at 16 on center, it's right over the top of that bung. So we need to offset this one to the inside, and we'll have slightly different spacing over here. Cell number 2 is full. I definitely feel like it's more level now. We are slightly high on this side, and then this way we are touching the edge of the middle bubble. So that's pretty darn good.
Way more level.
Way more than before. Yeah, when we used to open this door, it would like swing open.
Oh, that's way better.
That's way better. Oh yeah, look at that.
Yeah.
Nice, high five. Easy solution. We should have done that like on day 1 of the build. I looked at Cordy the other day and I said, either the materials are getting heavier or I'm getting older. And these are the days that I find that listening to my favorite tunes can be a serious morale boost. But we're not on the top of a mountain by ourselves down here, and I don't want to be that guy in the marina. But luckily, I've been able to keep rocking out thanks to the sponsor of today's video, Raycon. These are the Everyday Earbuds Classic, and not only are they super comfortable, but they actually stay put while I'm working. With up to 32 hours of battery life using the quick charge case, they last me several days on a single charge. The active noise cancellation means that I can drown out ambient noise, but the awareness mode means that I can still hear Courtney when I want to. I can't hear you! And with over 3 million happy customers and a 30-day happiness guarantee, there's really no reason not to give them a try. I love that I can pause and play the music just by tapping the button on the side of the earbud. And they're small enough that they fit underneath my earmuffs if I need them to. Right now, Raycon is having their anniversary sale. Make sure to click on the link in the description below or go to buyraycon.com/ambitionstrikes to get 20% off the Everyday Earbuds Classic. These sound good.
We've been talking about this deck since before we even bought the barge. Like, this is the thing we dreamed about, is this big front deck with the railing and the decking, and like we're hanging out here with our family and there's going to be a kiddie pool and lounge chairs, and just like this is what we've been dreaming of since before we even saw the barge. So the thought of actually doing it and being able to enjoy it, it felt so far away that I think we both kind of had that moment last night where we were like, wait, we're almost there. So we're going to try to get the deck done today. He's already ready. Look at him. It's not even 8 o'clock and he's got his tool belt on.
All right, we're about halfway across with the joist, and I think our system of putting the blocking in to help support the mid-spans is, that was a really good call. It's working really well. We're not necessarily flat. Like some of our joists are dipping because the boards aren't straight. It's gonna be easier to stop and fix that now than it is to wait till the end. So 1 step forward, 2 steps back, and you can see Courtney and baby over there. Hi, baby. Surprise, guys, not only was Courtney pregnant, but there's also a baby here now. So like this one in particular looks pretty not straight. That's a pretty good gap. So we just need to raise this up. That's fine. Okay, it's just the one. Phew! That's what I'm doing. That one's good. All right, I think we're back in business. We ran out of lumber. I had to run back to the hardware store and buy 8 more.
All right, Riley has requested a breakfast of champions, which is a protein shake and a meat stick. How many meat sticks have you consumed on this project?
I don't want to say. What quantity do they sell these in at Costco? The cool thing about a meat stick.
Is that why you're a tool belt man?
I'm a changed man now. I spent hours trying to cut this off, and it was just not happening. So now we have to build around it. But one of the cool things about building the deck like this is there's been all these things that now we didn't have to cut off. Like, look how it worked out around those brackets over there. There. Okay, now this one is probably gonna need to get ripped. Let's see, it's just too tall. We were gonna start on that side until I realized that if we started on this side, then we could walk on the finished deck as we go, which I think is gonna be way nicer than this current, what's that game called? Hopscotch?
Oh gosh, don't blur me out. Oh man.
That they didn't have enough 16 footers, so we're gonna have to use some 12 footers. So we're gonna have to put a few seams in here. And do we put them in a pattern, or do we just randomly stick one in every once in a while, or in one spot do we put all the seams? We could try to align them with where the bung holes are. Figured we'd cut one, and we'd set it in, and if it looked good, then maybe I'd try to cut more than one at a time. These are, 16, they give you a little extra. All right, 15 foot 10. That is pretty good material usage. First deck board. Oh look, we have to notch it. This is the only one we have to notch though. 3 inches. And this is a 4.5 inch diameter pipe. So can we find something that is 4.5 inches in diameter? That's gonna be way too big. It's gonna be 5 3/4.
Oh, that's way too big. I was way off.
40. I don't know what this stuff is. It's a weird material. I want to make sure our first board is straight because I don't trust that I got the rim board very straight. It kept moving on me. So before we screw this in, I'm going to pull a string on it. No, I think the board is pretty straight right now. I color matched pretty well for not having a deck sample when I bought the screws, huh? I just sort of like looked at the boxes and was like, that looks close. I was surprised at how many color options there were for these. They were like 3 different tanny browns.
Really?
Yeah.
2 of 1?
I'm gonna try to do a 2 for 1 here. Oh. So far it's saved me a lot of time. They're also not all the same length, I have just discovered. No, I think it's just gonna end up being faster to cut them one at a time. Airplane. the way I think this works is you put this clip in and these little arms just hold it. Remember how when we've done this before, they always want to fall off? So that's supposed to keep it from falling. Now we slide the deck board in. Yeah, so far I like it. It's the spacer and the clip all in one. We're not sponsored, by the way. I just bought these at the hardware store. But I like that with this thingy, it makes sure it stays centered on the joist too. It can't fall off. And because the clip is metal, we can't go too far and push it through like we have been done before. Because it sucks when you break a clip and it's the last one you're screwing in. You have to take the entire board off and replace that, just to replace the one clip. Should we try the little thingy? Okay, so apparently you go like this. I don't like that.
What's that for?
I don't know what that does. Right over here, I'll show you. We kept saying like, we need to remember to put those bung covers in, those bung caps, bung hole covers. What is it called? We kept saying over and over, we need to remember, we need to remember. And I stuck the board in and covered it up, but we almost forgot. So here we go, putting the covers on. These are the cells that we filled with water intentionally. It feels so wrong to say that.
But we're level now.
But we're level now. We're pretty darn close to level. We went round and around on what to do about the access to these plugs for inspecting the barge cells. And ultimately what we decided was to just put the deck on, and someday when we have to inspect them all, we're gonna have to pull up some of the deck boards. It was just gonna be so much easier than like fabricating special covers or making certain boards removable, or I just don't think it's gonna be something that we have to do very often considering none of the cells leak. So that's what we decided to do. I wonder how many steps I'm gonna end up taking by the end of the day. Not that I track them. So the 16-foot boards we're using for this deck were back ordered at the home center and they didn't have enough of them in stock. So I ended up having to make up the difference with 12-footers. So every 7th board, we have to put a 12-footer plus a 4-foot piece. Then we can go 6 full-length boards and then a break. So that's why there's a seam right here. Sometimes you just gotta make do with what you can get. Courtney, finishing this deck today is an ambitious goal. She said, we got it, we can do it. Yeah, I know. Slow and steady wins the race, right? No. Yeah, something you guys may not know about me is I'm both the tortoise and the hare. There are boards on the trailer behind the truck up there in the parking lot. I bring 6 at a time down here on the wagon. Courtney puts the clips in while I cut the boards. And I'm cutting 3 boards at a time and passing them over rather than 1 at a time to try to minimize the number of times I walk back and forth. The cut end goes on the outside and the factory edge that's kind of mangled gets tucked up underneath the siding on the building. Then we only have to cut each board once instead of twice. Is that good?
Yeah. It's a little shorter than the last one.
I just cut myself on the tape measurer for the 3rd time on this project.
Who knew the tape measure was so dangerous?
Yeah, who knew this was going to be the most deadly tool on the job? Okay, so the next little project before we finish our deck framing is I want to frame the deck to come all the way out through this gate out to the front of the boat so we can put a swim ladder out here. Oh, I have to rip them. Gosh, I should have waited to set the self-closing hinges up. Courtney yelled at me to use the clamp to open the gate. It's pretty fun to be able to build a project like this where just like there are no rules, there's no book, there's no right answer, there's no wrong answer, and we can just do it. Like I'm just making this up right now. Ah, no! The blade popped out of the sawzall and went straight to the bottom of the lake, and then I watched a fish chase after it. Yeah. All right, last blade. I don't know why that keeps happening on that Sawzall. It keeps, like the little thing that's supposed to hold the blade just pops off and then it loosens up. Okay, definitely secure. Woo! Courtney's mom is in town right now helping us out watching Oliver, and she and Oliver came down here. They brought us pizza to surprise us for dinner, and we got to spend the afternoon on the barge with Oliver, and it was just like, it was so fun getting to have that little pizza party here as our family and spending time on the barge. It's like, it's the fuel I needed to motivate me to get this deck done today. It is 7 p.m., which means summertime here in North Idaho. We've got like 2 hours of daylight left. I'm gonna try to knock this out. Let's go. As I was putting on that last deck board, I noticed we have one clip left over. This is the last one. Lucky Riley strikes again. All right, dude, I am stoked. Look how cool this deck is. I also just realized that this deck is bigger than our house. What is going on? It's like this, the sawdust ejector is clogged, I think. I've been like, just getting blasted. All right, there we go. All right, it is officially too dark for me to see. I think actually on the camera, you guys can probably see better than I can. Man, what a productive, fun day. Like, this project is turning out to be so much cooler than I ever could have imagined. The deck may not be done, but we're getting really close. We are really, really close. Oh, that's our speaker. I was trying to figure out where the music was coming from. I thought it was like a surf boat.
We're finishing a deck today. Actually, I know I said it yesterday. I felt like we needed to hype ourselves up because I'm so excited to use this thing. And we made so much progress yesterday, but I actually think we're gonna finish it today.
My brother and his family are flying in from out of town, and we are determined to host them on the barge tomorrow. And we are so close. I'm having fun though, Courtney. You know, like sometimes at the end of a project, it's hard to be motivated, but right now I'm feeling like just pumped.
I'm spending money like I just got paid. $100 bills, tell them keep the change. Come on. Pop a bottle, about to make it rain. Let me give you something now to celebrate. Come on.
Oh my gosh, this is heavy. Okay, Riley works on mounting the last two gates. I'm gonna start assembling furniture. Wow, babe.
You're moving in?
I'm moving in. Yeah, that's a lot of hardware. Oh boy.
Store shapes, rose-colored lenses, and a fake gold frame. Come on.
Official break-in of the barge. Brother's here, his family's here. Yeah, you're right, Oliver. I did just say the word level, but I don't need a level right now. I do need the drill.